Hey, what's up, guys? Rich with Legacy Adventures. Long time no see. I want to do a quick video. Um, I'm absolutely fascinated with this, with AI and everything that's coming out. And I wanted to test it and see if this thing is smart enough to actually give us basically some better information on the Forrest Fenn treasure. Um, so I want to make a series of videos, kind of let you guys know what I'm doing. I went ahead and I went ahead and got the membership for it, and it's like I don't know what it's called, but it's like $20 a month. So it gives you access to the Chat GPT 4, the AI, and I've been playing with it for about a day, and it's unbelievable. So I know for a fact it's definitely helpful. Let's see, hold on a second. Oh yeah, so why that's red right there? Read this. Your reach the GPT-4 cap. There's a cap 25 messages every 3 hours, which is bull crap because they didn't tell me that before we paid for it, but that'll go away soon. So I just started this, and the first part of this I want to show you guys. Okay, so in essence, if you don't know anything about it, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because you guys can learn on your own about how this thing works. But I'm going to give you a quick little uh, kind of show you what I'm doing with this. Gonna give you guys updates, and I do not know why it does this. There we go. It always starts on the bottom. So please go up. Okay, good. Anyway, so yeah. So here's the plan. Basically, I don't know exactly how they fill it with information, right? What it's learned, how it's learned. I do know it doesn't like necessarily access to the whole internet, right? Um, so you can't like use it as a search yet. So I've gotten some mixed answers on that. And if you guys know how that happened, let me know. But basically, what I'm doing is on this model, the the reasoning basically is supposed to be super high, right? And so what I'm doing is I've decided to do two things. As I'm going to enter a bunch of information in it, all right, and then we're going to start asking it questions and keep on getting updates based on the updated information it gets. And you guys can read some of the stuff that I've put in here so far. So let's go to this one. Here I asked about a book because I hadn't asked that. This was just a little bit ago. And it actually says you can enter an entire book and it will give you answers from that text. Now with the limitation on the text, right? We can't do that, but we will, as soon as that's clear, enter the entire Thrill of the Chase book. Okay, and we're going to see what I mean. You can ask it anything, right? And so it's interesting because you'll see how I respond, like how I interact with it. From what I've read, it's just incredible because they'll like kind of I can't explain it. You just have to read about it. But we want to train it to be a treasure researcher, right? And we wanted to train it to be able to basically be open to give us the answers that we're looking for. That's the thing. Okay, so you're asked about the character limits for that. Here's what I say to us. Okay, I'm going to start to enter as much information about things Forrest Fenn has said about the treasure hunt. I understand it was found, but I want to approach this as if it wasn't. That way I can see if you are able to take in a bunch of information about the treasure hunt and what Forrest has said over the years, and then come to some conclusion about the location that might be helpful for another similar treasure hunt. Is that okay? You guys can read what it says right there. Of course, we have to analyze information about the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt and provide insights that might be useful for other treasure hunts. Please provide me with as much information and quotes from Forrest as you can. Consider the character limit. Okay, so the first thing I've been doing, here's a list of things said and dates it was said. This is from Forrest. So this is raw information, guys, from Forrest. These are basically quotes. Um, Interesting enough, it starts when you put stuff in, it starts to give a synopsis right away. I say you don't have to do that right now. Right now, just repeat back to me the above info, but in the most simple form, so I know you got it. So we got all this. Bam. Sure. Here's a simplified summary of the information provided. No waterfalls. No under no underwater. Not near Rio Grande. Not in the desert. You see this? How cool this is? So it's learning. Great, thanks. Here's some more quotes and things that will help dig down to the possible locations later. You don't need to break anything. Oh, sorry. That's the first quote. Same thing I did up there. Um, it even gives like where it was found. Now, one thing I do think we got to be careful of is like what we got to make sure. I got to look for what information we put in here, right? Because it's taken as fact. So that's something I got to consider. Here's another summary of that. It just kicked out a summary of all that. Look at this. Consider the what ifs. Destination is small, location is huge. Don't let logic distract from the poem. Can solve, can be lost. I mean, this is exactly the stuff that this thing's now. We have AI working on this, guys. This summary should help when trying to analyze the possible locations later. See that? And then I ask it, are you able to listen to video and audio and take in that information as well? And it says it's not. But then it gives me the great idea that it can take in transcripts of said videos and interviews of Forrest. So I picked the first one, and we all know Mr. Jack Stoops' channel, his favorite interview of all, New Mexico True Stories interview. And I broke down the transcript over here. I entered the entire thing in this AI guys in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It took a minute because you got to break down the right now. You have to worry about the word count. So I couldn't just copy paste the entire transcript yet and just let it take it. Had to break it down 4 or 5 times. But here soon, it's just going to be a copy and paste transcript. So obviously, um, I'm going to take every single interview that Forrest has done, every single radio and video transcript that I can find, and enter it into this. Everything that Forrest has ever said is going to be entered into this. Everything, um, the books, the books are going to be entered into this. I'm also going to ask a few questions. I would like to ask a couple of the blog people, but I'd like to have all blog or as much blog information entered into this. Everybody's input and their solutions. So in essence, over the next few days, I'm going to enter as much information as I possibly can into this AI. And then we're going to see if it's worth it, if we get anything special, if it's just ridiculous and a waste of time. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I can already tell you I did it just briefly without put any of this in. I just kind of corresponded with it briefly. It knows it was found. So I have to tell it. That's why I had to tell it to not keep on saying that, because what it says is like if you don't say that, it says, well, it's found already. Basically, like, why are we doing this? Interesting enough, like for example, it's okay as I'm entering information, you don't have to summarize. Let's do that later. So I really try to talk to it like it's a human, right? So here's more of the summary of that one. Again, I just remind it. Thank you for providing more information from the interview. Oh, this is what they said. Whenever you're ready to proceed with summarizing or analyzing the content, just let me know. More input. Their response, same thing. More input. See, it goes on forever. Look at the timestamps. it starts, and it kind of forgets right here. It starts to analyze it again. This is the part of the interview Forrest talks about his motivation for creating the treasure hunt, which includes getting kids off the couch and outdoors to enjoy nature. I stopped that. So you hit this like when it starts to do something you don't want, you hit the stop, like kind of basically stop generating because I don't want to that right now. Now, if you notice, it's not going, it's not giving us like in-depth answers right now. It's just kind of summarizing, trying to. Okay, same thing. Almost done, guys. And I ask it right here. Are you, because I saw this right here, it started to say this, and it didn't make no sense to me when I stopped it after I input this part of the transcript. So I just ask, are you still understanding the transcript okay? Yes, I still understand the transcript. Please continue providing the text, and I will help you with your questions or information you need. This is red because some part of this part of the transcript, this content may violate our content policy. I don't know what part it was. Um, maybe it's groin. I don't know. That doesn't just take it out. I don't think it does. It just warns you. So not sure on that. I'll look at that. Here I say, here's some more of the same interview. Almost done though. Okay, this last part. Again, it starts to summarize and I stop it. And then I think this is like a 45-minute interview. So yes, this is like the last piece. And this is interesting. Now, look what I do here. The next part is what a man named Jack Stoof wrote about the interview just entered titled New Mexico True Stories. In essence, it's a little about his feedback on the video interview of Forrest Fenn. Jack Stoof is important when it comes to the Forrest Fenn treasure because he is the claimed finder of it. Now, as you remember, we are looking at all this information as if it was not found yet. So we can see if this information we looked at within an AI might have helped narrow down the treasure location. So here's Jack's input. I'll enter more input from Jack as I find it, so you can take that into consideration later. Here's Jack's input on this interview. And here's Jack's interview, Jack's information, what he said. This is cut and paste from um, what he wrote about, how he explained it. And this is fascinating to me, this part right here, right? Because what we're doing now is it's really cool to have this information and it already be quote unquote found, whether it was or not, and all the, I'm saying, who knows right now how it all happened. But in this doing what we're doing, this is fascinating to have this because I'm going to enter, you know, oh, and I forgot to mention, we can enter email all Forrest emails, all Jack Stoof's emails, and I got all that stuff saved from different places that I collected it, or if there's links, right? So Reddit posts, like we could put in all those Reddits. I forget the name he used, and we can say, talk about that, and you consider this to be Jack Stoof based on this timeline. And I'm going to put in timelines and just on and on and on, guys. This is a cool project. I'm excited about it, and I'm sure some will try to copy it, or well, maybe not. I don't know, but if someone does, no big deal. I don't care. If anyone wants to help out or has any input, if you guys know a lot about AI, about this specifically, I know a little bit about it. I've been using it for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I've kind of got an idea about this and how you enter it and how you got to like phrase it. You know what I'm saying? You almost got to train it to be ready to come back and analyze it the way we want to. And I was just getting ready, like, to ask some tough questions, okay? Because right here I said, okay, treasure researcher, go ahead and give me just a brief overview of this interview. Say 2 paragraphs tops. If you can, focus on anything you think might be important when it comes to helping find the treasure location. I understand it will just be your opinion, but that is what I want. I want your educated opinion. Thanks. Here we go. 2 paragraphs. And it left a lot to be desired based on that question. And here's where it gets you gotta dig in, right? So, and I've learned this already with the GPT-3. So it won't get real deep the first time around. But what you do is you use its own words against it or with it, for example. So out of everything they said here, it says this sentence right here. While it's unclear what specific piece of information he regrets sharing, it is possible that careful analysis of the interview could reveal subtle clues to help narrow down the treasure location, right? So what I'll do is I'll use its words to make it respond. So for example, I said, after you do your careful analysis of the interview, please list anything that might be a subtle clue to help narrow down the treasure location. See how I did that? After you carefully analyze the interview. And then here's its answer. Upon analyzing the interview with Forrest, several points stand out that could potentially serve as subtle clues to help narrow down this treasure location. Now it's digging down a little bit farther. Okay, we get a little bit more than what we got from this. This is a little bit better. And again, they always put these warnings. It's important to note this is speculative. So what you do here, what is it getting ready to do here? And when I start to type the next one, it cut me off because I hit my limit. I can start back. It's real late. I'm gonna do it in the morning. But so, for example, well, these are interesting as hell anyway. When asked about the home of Brown, Fenn emphasizes that he used the term home of Brown and not house of Brown, which might suggest that the distinction between home and house is important when interpreting the clue. So what I'll do is I'll go back and say something like, give me some examples of how that would be important when interpreting the clue. What would that, see what I'm saying? I would get it to analyze that aspect of it, and it will, trust me. Two is very interesting. Fenn mentions the importance of experiences and adventures related to Yellowstone Park, which could indicate that the treasure might be hidden in or near the park or a similar natural area. So again, I've worked on this for a while before I made the video. What you do, guys, what I'm going to do, and what if you do this for your own, is you start to make distinctions based on your conclusions. Like for example, with my practice run on the 3 GPT-3, I was asking it questions like, okay, in Yellowstone National Park, where's where warm waters halt? If we're talking about like the temperature of the water being what makes it where warm waters halt. And sure enough, you'll see it lists where the supposed place it's found. And then I was asking stuff like, okay, well, if the treasure is supposedly in a place where not many people go and there's no trail, but yet there's a lot of people that are get within 500 feet of it, what are some possible locations based on the areas you just mentioned as warm water halts, right? And sure enough, it talks about the pull-ins, it talks about the roads, talks about, it's unbelievable, man. So what it, and, you know, it's, I don't think it's going to come back and say, hey, this is here. But what it does, and again, since we know, again, I say that with, you know, without knowing, this is assume we know. That's really helpful because, you see what I'm saying? Because we kind of see how to maneuver it and what would happen if we had this before it was found. You know, and in essence, the better your, you know, your assumptions and your conclusions based on your research, the better those are, the more valuable this is, obviously, right? Because you're going in the right direction and it takes you in the right direction a lot quicker. And, you know, if you somehow got lucky and, you know, was in Yellowstone early, you know, so I put in I did a whole thing with the poem. I had it summarize it. I had it use common words. I asked about what the keyword was. I did all kinds of things already that I'm going to get into with you guys and show you guys. But wanted to get. I didn't want to do it with the 3 because it's not good enough. It gave me a little. It gave me the conclusion that it's worth a video and it's gonna be fun. But it's not. I'm saying it's 4 is way better. And then as it upgrades, I'll keep paying for it and keep on doing it. And it's just a fun little thing. So that's it, guys. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want me to enter. If you have any ideas on what to enter, what I haven't listed, and I'll keep entering it. And then the minute that the restrictions are off of the paid version, I'll really spend I'll spend one afternoon just like putting in all the YouTube transcripts, everything I could find. I'm going to go to newspapers.com and put in all that stuff. I mean, you know, I want this AI's brain to know every single thing about Forrest, every single thing, every single possible location, every single like opinion about this, because it's going to give us a real good indication of what we can expect some of this stuff to do later on. Now, if you see this right here, this is a whole other thing that I've been working on with it for treasure hunting that isn't the Forrest Fenn thing. It's helping me find places in Indiana that are cache locations. It's just incredible. It's a great tool. It's going to get even better. So, all right, guys, I'll talk to you guys soon. Let me know what you think. Thanks. I'll make a video to every couple days on this one for sure.